game is going to be indoors, but it is not in many ways because the experience is more than the 3 or 4 hours. Anybody could watch it inside, but all that goes into it, of course, has now been off track. I did have the mayor of Indianapolis on. He said if this would happen in Indianapolis, and he knows it can, he says we'll have this cleaned off in half a day. They are more equipped for it. They better be. They're also very connected. I want to ask you this about the Redskins, and more specifically this game today. Of course, you're in the Redskins Ring of Honor. You had tremendous success in the league. What are your thoughts as you look at the game? You see the NFC a lot. I know the AFC. What do we think?
Well, as I look at the game, I look at two of the most storied franchises in the NFL, and I think when you look at the way that both of these teams played, defense, both teams have good offenses, very good offenses, but the defense is what carried them. As I look at the offenses of both sides, you have Ben Roethlisberger, who's had an unbelievable year after sitting out the first 4 games. Seems to have changed, and you see a guy trying to make amends, trying to be a different person. But on the football field, you can never knock him. He's always been a great competitor, has an uncanny ability of getting open and throwing a clutch pass. You look at the Green Bay Packers, and this team had 13 guys on injury reserve this year.
Right.
And they're still in the Super Bowl. Right. So you begin to look at that and you say, well, it's destiny for both teams to be there, and they're going to come to a head. And I think, for Green Bay to win the game, they're going to have to take the Steelers' defense out of their comfort level. And when I look at that, I say that the comfort level is they stop the run and they force you into passing. Well, Green Bay doesn't really try to run the ball as much. They ran it good as of late. But if you begin to spread out, and I think that when they have those 4 receivers on the field, they have an advantage. I think that their 4 receivers are better than the secondary of the Steelers. But overall defense, the Steelers have a better defense than Green Bay does in offense. But if they can basically make guys who hadn't had to come in and make play after play all year, they can take an advantage. But if they don't, the Steelers can go out there and run the football like they're going to do with Mendenhall, and then on the defense, they make you do what they want you to do, it'll be a long day for them.
That's always the key, isn't it? Making the other team respond to you. That entire test of will seems to dictate who wins and loses so often. The Steelers, I think, will run it. We know that you look at Rashard Mendenhall, first, second, third, fourth quarter, and overtime, runs it literally 80 times every quarter throughout the regular season, and I think there could be some run there, although Green Bay's been better at that. I agree with your assessment as it relates to the wide receivers. Dick LeBeau told me the other day, though, that if Green Bay has to go one-dimensional, and I believed when he said it, they're okay with that. They're okay if they got to throw it around the lot because they're built that way. A little bit riskier, but he says they're comfortable that way.
Well, I don't know. Because if you watch how fast they get up and down the field and they score, I think if Green Bay gets one-dimensional and you can't stop them, that's a problem.
Right.
If they're one-dimensional and you can stop them, and Dick LeBeau, I will never question him. He's one of the best defensive coordinators ever to be in this league. But I know Dick is thinking, if they're one-dimensional and we can make them get into third and long, I'm good. But if they're hitting 10 yards, 8 yards on first down, and then they're making us have to come in and out, I know he thinks that'll be a long day. But, the thing about it, he's done it over and over again. He'll find a way to try to disrupt their little chemistry or whatever. But the thing about those, all 6 feet and higher, those receivers, and when they catch the ball, they know what to do after it. So I think that they're going to have to get pressure on him, definitely.
Ryan Clark told me they're interchangeable. One last thing, I'll let you go. You won a Super Bowl. Talk about the experience factor, whether it's too big for somebody individually or as a team. Green Bay with 3 players at a Super Bowl, the Steelers with multiple Super Bowl winners. What do you make of that?
Well, I think, that experience comes during the week. Once the ball is kicked off, everybody's played football. Yeah. The game is not going to get too big then. It's the hype that you allow coming up into the game. And I think the Steelers have the advantage coming to the game. But once the game starts, it's tackle, run the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball. And if that's too big for you, then you shouldn't be playing.
Outstanding. Brian, we appreciate the time very much.
Care,
Great
buddy.
job. All right, We'll talk to you. Thanks so much for the time.